Greetings, this is Vane and welcome back to Let's Play Warhammer 40,000 Gladius, Relics of War. Okay, in the last few episodes we covered the introduction, which started us on an introduction game with Space Marines on the easiest difficulty. So, but the question is, was that the easiest game? Well, we will see. Because this is what they consider a standard game. Okay, that's space. We can see from here, Space Marines versus 3 other factions. Okay. When you realise that there's 4 base factions in the game, that makes sense. But we're not going to do this. Because you know what we're like. We're going to modifies the AI advantages. We're going to go to very easy. And in doing so, that puts these down to very weak. Which gives us moderate loyalty disadvantage. Okay. So what's here? Well, we've got advantage or disadvantages as well. If we look, Neophyte for us is also moderate loyalty disadvantage. But if we go to Emperor, extreme loyalty and level advantages given, so we're going to have that. I'm going to pop that in and you'll see why in a minute. We're going to go on the tiny world, RAM mass we're going to keep, we're going to go to very fast, and then what we're going to do is we're going to trim down, so it's like, okay, we'll take that one out, we'll take that one out, and we'll take you out, and for some reason we can still start. Now there is a reason for this. Because there are actually 2 win conditions. 1, defeat all the other factions in the game. Or 2, you complete a storyline quest. Now you can turn those storyline quests off, but we're not going to do that. We're going to explore that storyline. And basically I will be keeping the... I've reset all the tips and everything so that this is based... because this will be the easiest game. But also more likely the full experience without any other factions. So we will start.
Gladius Prime was a bastion of humanity, newly colonized. A suitable base for our chapter to rebuild and recruit. We Space Marines raised our fortress here. Grew strong again. But the Ork invasion brought a warp storm that cut off our Emperor's light. And the dread Necrons crawled from the earth beneath our feet. War was on all sides, yet we are the Emperor's chosen. We do not dread the dark, or quail at the relics of old. Terror is for those who oppose us. We know no fear.
Okay. Welcome to Gladius. To move the camera, position your mouse over terrain, click and hold the left mouse button and move your mouse. Once you're comfortable with your surroundings, click OK. Okay. Space Marines deploy most of their crucial infrastructure from orbit. To found your fortress, which is the backbone of your chapter on Gladius and elsewhere, click the Deploy City button in the operations panel on the top left and select an empty tile in sight. Note that Space Marines only have 1 city. And you're saying we should put it here. Okay, we'll do that then. Maybe not. But yeah, never mind. That's where you told us to put it, that's where we put it. Cities gather resources required to fuel the war machinery. The city screen displays all the resources related to the city. Hover your mouse over each resource to find out more. Okay, so Population is used to operate buildings in the city. Each enabled building requires one population to operate. If the required population exceeds the current population, the resource output of the building is reduced. Okay. Growth indicates how fast the city grows. So we get 6 from buildings, which is from the Great Hall. Once enough growth has been accumulated, the population increases by 1. The growth rate decreases with the population approaching the population limits. So, basically we get 16, and because we've got so much room, we also, that goes up by an extra, we've got an extra, so that's gone up because we've got an extra 8. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. Requisitions. Used to sustain the population of the city, construct buildings as well as produce and maintain units. Okay, now requisitions for Space Marines, they combine food and ore into requisitions, into a single resource. So that's basically what we're collecting. Okay. Now we've got quite a bit. But you notice we're getting plus 16.4 from loyalty, because we've got loads of loyalty, and that's the advantage that we've been given. Energy used to maintain buildings as well as produce and maintain special units. Okay, 9 per turn. 3 from buildings, 6.3 from loyalty. Yep. Research used to discover new technologies. 13.5, loads from buildings, and 6 from loyalty. We're getting little over 100% extra on our resources from our loyalty bonus. Used to acquire and maintain city tiles, invoke tactics and operations, as well as recruit powerful hero units and purchase their items. Okay. We are getting 23.6 per turn, including 12.6 from loyalty. Okay, loyalty indicates the population's dedication to your cause. Each positive point of loyalty increases the city's total resource output by 1%, while each negative point decreases it by 2%, down to minus 50%. Each city after the first decreases loyalty in all cities by 6. Now you'll notice here, okay, we've got 105 loyalty in total, and that's because we are getting an extra 100 from difficulty. That is part of the difficulty modifier that we have got for having it on so easy, which also goes to show you exactly how hard the AI can be when you put it on the hardest difficulty, because it's literally doubling their resources. But to start with, what it's doing is that we've decided it's doubling ours before we even start, which is great, because that means much faster growth for us, so we won't have to worry too much about resources. Okay, here buildings are listed with their available actions. Note that all buildings are the same type, are grouped together and can only perform one action at a time. Although multiple actions can be queued up, the required resources will be immediately subtracted from your global pool. Okay, so we've got the orbital relay, building that constructs new buildings and generates influence. Okay, in normal times the various teleportaria would be used to transport troops to and from nearby starships. In these warp storm times, the orbital relay serves a more important function, communicating with the low orbiting battle barge and calling down important requisitions for a rapid surface deployment. Okay, and then we've got our Great Hall, headquarters building that generates resources. That's given an increase in our population to 6, giving us 12 requisitions, 6 energy, 6 research, 6 influence, and 6 loyalty. And it's a headquarters, which means destroying it destroys the city. Every fortress monastery contains myriad halls large enough to house several armies, but most have a great hall, centerpiece of a chapter's home, Trophies, relics, and even its most revered spacecraft may be housed within the Great Hall. If the sight of the Great Hall does not reduce a visitor to dumbfounded silence, then it is fouled in its purpose. Okay. Before you can construct additional buildings, you have to claim more tiles. Go ahead and click Acquire Tile and select a tile with one or more building slots adjacent to your city borders. Acquiring a tile will take a few turns and cost some influence. That's this bit here. Because we can only acquire a tile, or we can clear a tile. Yeah, buildings we've got available is a refectory, a janitorium, a librarium, a similarium, and an apothecarium. Or we can sleep production. Okay. So if we look at our buildings, we have buildings that generate requisitions. The chapter's mammoth dining halls and kitchens are contained within its refectories. Excuse me. The Space Marine diet is a Spartan affair augmented with a cocktail of biochemical supplements to ensure constant battle readiness. The Battle Brothers consume this repast in complete silence. Okay. Generatorium. Building that generates energy. Though the light of the Emperor is the true source of every chapter's strength, a physical power source is also required. The exact nature of its generatorium differs from chapter to chapter. The Space Wolves, for instance, have driven immense crystal shafts deep into the surface of the planet Fenris, transforming subterranean heat into the endless energy their fortress monastery demands. Okay. Librarium. Building that generates research. Though also a store for extensive written histories of its chapter, the Librarium is first and foremost its central command, communications and defense station. Here astropaths manage external and intra-base comms, while librarians and psychers pore over, protect and update the chapter's centuries of wisdom. Okay. Construct a similarium. Building that generates influence. An immense and high-ceiling gathering place wherein every member of the chapter may assemble to attend briefings, ceremonies and even feasts of particular import. In most fortress monasteries, the Great Hall is the only room to exceed the sheer size of the Assimilarium. And finally we have the Apothecarium. Building that produces infantry as well as increases population limit and generates research. The Apothecarium provides medical support for wounded battle brothers and plays a vital role in the elevation of an aspirant to a Space Marine. Both of these functions pale into insignificance against the Apothecarium's other purpose, the preservation of its chapter's unique gene seed, from which new Space Marines are created. If the gene seed is lost, so too is the chapter. Okay, so let's see what we got. We got this. It's a new. Okay. Sure, we'll go with you. Take your time to explore the interface. Every element as a hint to provide you with extra information. Whenever you are unsure what to do next, refer to the red task button on the right side of the screen. It will help you focus on the next task before you end your turn. So, yep, that's telling us to select the next idle unit. Okay. Move the selected unit by pressing the right mouse button over the destination tile. Holding the button down will display which path the unit will take. Each unit can only be moved once per turn. Okay, let's have a look. Where are we going with you? Can't really see anywhere. There's one up there and there's some over there. Okay. I think we know where we're going then. Gladius is full of unknown treasure and vicious alien creatures. As you explore, you will receive discovery notifications that can be opened to reveal more information. Some terrain can be explored for rewards, while other features might hurt your unit. Tread carefully, the planet's life can be ruthless, but if you leave it alone, it may spare you. Okay, so we've got, what have we got? Wireweed. Feature that ends the movement of a unit and deals damage each turn. Woe betide anyone who wanders into these thickets of brambles. Slowly at first, but faster and faster, the living reed draws its razor-sharp filaments tighter around the hapless intruder. So it does attacks, it ignores cover, and hits with increased accuracy against multiple group members of the target unit. Okay. To open the city screen, you can click on the city name or click on the headquarters twice. You can also select the city's defences by clicking on the headquarters itself or on the icon above the city. All cities have a limited firepower and will defend themselves when attacked. Make sure to protect your city at all costs. If you lose all your cities, you are defeated. Okay. So that's to select the city. So, Grok's Pasture. Special feature that increases the food or requisitions output of the city when acquired. Around heatstones, alien storytellers muse about the Groks, the dangerous herd animal that is ubiquitous throughout human lands. Wherever man goes, the hardy Groks travels with him or is there before him. Some jokes that the Groks was the Old One's most successful creation. Okay. So we got all these modifiers. But the only ones we're interested in is the requisitions. Plus 20 and plus 2, and influence, plus 10%, plus 2, plus 1. So that's pretty cool, because that's what we've got there. Okay. Necron Tomb, what's these all about? Feature that allows Necrons to found a city on the tile. Deep beneath this innoxious patch of land lies a tomb city where the Necrons have slept away the long millennia. To one who knows the correct protocols, it's a simple matter to begin the procedure of awakening it and its inhabitants from their dreamless sleep. Okay, Necrons are one of the other factions, so yeah, that's good. We can play them. Not that we'll necessarily be facing them. There's no AI Necrons in this game, because we got no AI opponents. What else have we got? The Jokero Trader Encampment. Special feature that allows a hero unit on the tile to purchase and sell items as well as increase as well as increase the influence output of the city when acquired. If you have little regard for your life and seek excitement, visit the Jokero. Imbued with an instinctive technical creativity that exceeds even that of an orc mech boy, these orange-furred aliens resemble a great Terran ape, but can create wonders beyond imagining. The challenge is in acquiring them and safely working out what they do. And basically it gives plus 2 influence and plus 20% influence, and it provides a shop. Okay. So, tiles with special resource features can be captured by moving a unit on them. This will construct an outpost, providing you with a small but important bonus to your resource output, and giving the unit stationed here increased damage reduction and healing rate. Defend your outposts or they will be taken over by other factions or the Gladius wildlife. Okay. Choose our research. The research screen presents your faction's unique technology tree. Begin by selecting a technology to research from tier 1. You must research 2 technologies from a tier to unlock the subsequent tier. You can speed up research by constructing additional research buildings in your cities. Note that all progress is lost when you change the current research in technology. Okay, now what we're going to do, although is rather than race down the tree, we are going to basically limit ourselves to tier by tier. Shouldn't be a problem too much though, because with the amount of bonuses we're getting. And this is a very fast game. So we have the Reclusium, which is a building that produces heroes as well as generates influence and increases loyalty. Okay, so that's what we're doing. That's what it's suggested, that's what we're doing. We also have a building that produces ground vehicles as well as generates requisitions and research in the armory. We can have frag grenades, which grants apothecaries, assault marines, captains, devastator space marines, librarian scouts, scout bikers, tactical space marines, and thunderfire cannons the ability to throw anti-infantry grenades. Orbital scan operation that reveals the target tile and adjacent tiles. A tactical doctrine chapter tactic that increases the accuracy of tactical space marines. Okay. And okay. And with that we will end our turn. Okay. Chapter 1, Final Foundation. As chapter master, the arrival of an enormous orc horde on your chapter's homeworld was calamitous. But no one ever said the Adeptus Astartes shirked a challenge. Yet after months of fighting, the battle remained locked in a stalemate. You instructed the civilian planetary government that Astra Militarum support was required. Clearing the Green Menace was a priority, whatever the blow to the chapter's pride. The Astra Militarum is the Imperial Guard and is one of the other factions that you can play. Barely had the guardsmen landed when a system-wide warp storm began, devastating the planet. Of your majestic fleet, a single battle barge in low orbit was the sole survivor. When the surface storms calmed, your surviving marines emerged into a ruined world. You are trapped on the planet's surface, cut off from the Imperium, and surrounded by xeno-species to boot. You are the Emperor's own sons, the Space Marines, and you will not die easily, or in vain. Your chapter planned for every eventuality, so your fortress holds enough food and resources to survive decades of battle and siege. But more complex devices, ammunition and war gear require the acquisition of rare resources. To stand a chance of defeating the Xenos Menace, we need to secure the locations of these key resources so that servitors and serfs can continuously extract them. Deploy a Fortress of Redemption next to a special resource feature and secure the perimeter, which we get 50 requisitions. Okay. Space Marines are able to issue strategic and tactical operations by expending influence. One such operation is the deployment of a Fortress of Redemption, a stationary unit that secures adjacent special resource features. Placement of Fortresses of Redemption is key for Space Marines to gather resources beyond their city's reach. Okay. So, if we got over here. We get up there. There are ruins of Vol in sight. These ruins provide rewards for the first players exploring them. That's not the ruins of Vol. Some even provide ancient items that can later be equipped by heroes to make them stronger or excel at specific encounters. Okay. Terrain affects units in a variety of ways. Forests and Imperial ruins have an increased movement cost for ground units and make it harder to see and fire across. Height differences may also prevent your units from having a clear line of fire. Tiles marked with red indicate enemies that can be attacked from your current position. Okay. This unit has a ranged fire weapon equipped. Units with rapid fire weapons are able to cause much more damage at close range, but can still fire from further away. Might be worth moving closer before attacking. Okay. Neutral units may not attack you as you move around them, but attacking them will surely make them angry. Yes. Okay, what have we got? We have Corpari acquired the tile, yep. There are 3 building slots in this city. An opportune time to make plans to expand your army. Begin by constructing an infantry production building. Click the blinking button and select a city tile with an empty building slot to start construction. It will take several turns to complete. So yeah, we're building a Apothecron here. Q. The city, what else have we got? Vespid Stingwings discovered. Okay. Quick range infantry unit that excels at combat in ruins and can fly over obstacles. Vespid Stingwings dart into battle with unsettling insectile speed. The high-pitched whine of their wings inspires atavistic revulsion, seeming to come from every direction at once as it echoes and bounces from ruins to wreckage. When they strike, the Vespids do so with lightning speed, dropping from above with their neutron blasters emitting bolts of translucent fire. Each shot shimmers clean through the armour of the foe, scouring their bodies with massive doses of radiation and burning them alive from the inside. Okay. Now these are Tau, which is not a faction that we can necessarily face. Because it is a DLC faction. So basically it's included because obviously with the latest you might face opponents that do have the DLC, and Vespid Stingwings are also a neutral unit. So yeah, we'll be facing a lot of neutrals that aren't affiliated with necessarily part of the various factions, although some are. Okay, weapons. Neutron Blaster times 5, because there's 5 in a squad. Okay. What's it? So you've got armor, 8 points, morale, yeah. Stingwing weapons are a hybrid of Vespid and Tau technology. Crystal mounted upon each blaster emits a powerful neutron blast that is able to bypass all but the most effective armor. Okay. So, let's see their traits. Their fleet. Preternaturally agile. These warriors can cover ground more quickly than their plodding foes. So they have +1 to their movement. Okay. Hit and run. It ignores enemy zone of control. Some troops employ flexible battle stance, engaging the foe at close quarters one moment before peeling off to strike with renewed vigour the next. So they can literally run rings around us. Move through cover. Negates the movement penalty in forests and Imperial ruins. Some warriors are skilled at moving over broken and tangled terrain. Ruin stealth. Increases the range defense reduction while in Imperial ruins. And the actions, they have standard overwatch, which attacks enemy units that enter the attack range. And they have a jump pack, which flies across obstacles to the target tile, which also gives them the Hammer of Wrath, which gives them plus 25% damage when they use it. A jump pack enables the wearer to make bounding leaps across the battlefield and make boosted flights over short distances or to the tops of fortress walls. Okay. What else have we got? Soritas Holy Site. A feature that provides a research reward to the first Hospitalitas unit that enters the tile. The tabernacles of the Adeptus Soritas are not merely holy sites, but also house relics of ancient sisters, weapons, armour and valuable tactical advice. In times of dire need, the sisters may take them up again and use them in war. Except they don't, because that's a DLC faction. That's the latest DLC faction, which is why this is known as the Adapter Sororitas version. Okay. And of course we've got where we've been attacked. Yeah. C. Deploy Fortress of Redemption. Fortification that automatically gathers resources from adjacent special resource features. Fortress of Redemption is a towering bulwark against the ravages of planetary invasion. Each is virtually impervious to conventional firepower, and the lower levels of bunker annexes and subcrypts can house entire platoons of battle-ready warriors. First used by the Dark Angels Legion during the days of the Great Crusade, they have since been used by every military force in the Imperium and proven invaluable to its defense. Okay. Let's see, can only put you somewhere that's visible, so not there. Because it also secures what it's next to, and you'll see what I mean when I do this. So we're popping it here. Boom! Basically that's secured this Grox pasture, and what it means is that why that Fortress of Redemption stands, not only are we getting a bonus for having an outpost on there, basically it cannot be taken over by anyone else until that fortress is destroyed. The city does the same, cities do the same. So again, Grox pasture cannot be taken over by anyone other than us until it's been destroyed. And we discovered the Webway Gate. Fortification unit that allows the Eldari to travel from one place to another. Okay, the Eldari is what is the name for the Eldar, or basically space elves, and is another DLC faction. A galactic tapestry of shimmering strands used by the Eldari to traverse the stars without risking the dread realm of the warp. The Webway once spanned the galaxy, even stretching out into the empty void beyond. These days are long gone. Ravaged by war and catastrophe, many of its tunnels have been torn open or amputated, and a great number of its entrances have been sealed. Despite the degradation, the Eldari still rely on the Webway for swift travel, using Webway gates to enable this. And it's a fortification, which is a stationary and fortified unit. Armed, exerts control over adjacent outposts. Okay. So. Let's end our turn here. Okay, research completed. Building that produces heroes as well as generates influence increases loyalty. For those rare ceremonies that require the attendance of every battle brother, the vastness of the Reclusium allows the entire chapter to gather. This is the most precious place in a fortress monastery, home to its most sacred relics, and in a rare few, the very body of its primarch. It is also the seat of the chapter's commanders and heroes. So it gives us 6 production, 2 influence and 1 loyalty. Its actions is produce captain. Legendary hero unit that excels in close combat. Amid the fire and thunder of the front line, Space Marine captains set a peerless example to their brothers as they carve down one enemy after another. Each captain is a skilled warrior, a veteran of hundreds of battles who has slain whole armies of foes during his celebrated career. Okay, we have the librarian technology. We can produce librarian. Hero unit with versatile psychic powers. Eyes blazing and fists crackling with the roiling energies of the warp, Space Marine librarians stride into battle to destroy their foes. Some hurl blasts of force that crush their victims to paste, while others twist the flow of time itself or revitalise their brothers with incredible surges of vitality. However they choose to fight, all librarians are powerful psychers, harnessing the potent mutation they bear as a force to defend humanity. Finally, Chaplains, if you have the chaplain technology. Zealous hero unit that raises morale and inspires loyalty. To meet the baleful gaze of a Space Marine chaplain is to know that death itself will soon follow. These terrifying warrior priests can be found wherever the fighting is thickest, inspiring their brothers to greatness with every thunderous blow and roared exhortation. Okay. Every unit has a variety of statistics and attributes, traits, abilities and weapons, each of which have their own ranges and effects. Some units may only have melee weapons, but quickly move through rough terrain, while others may have fear auras or unleash powerful artillery blasts. Move your mouse over the icons and buttons in the selection panel to find out more about the selected unit. Yep. So, Tactical Space Marines. We have up here Armour. Reduces the amount of damage taken from weapons and abilities. Each point of armor reduces the damage taken by approximately 8.3% or up to 83%, but weapons and abilities ignore a number of armor points up to their armor penetration value. Okay, now that basically means it can go up to, I think it's 5/6, so or half of, or so that's like 1/6 damage. But of course, as it says, I mean, we're armor 8, so we're pretty tough, but we're facing Vespid Stingwings who can reduce that by half. Hit points. The amount of damage the unit can sustain before dying. Units automatically heal if they have not taken damage and have full movement and action points remaining. Okay. So, you've got the hit points, you've got the group size, and the got improved healing rate, because we'll find out why in a minute. Morale. The psychological state of the unit. Morale regenerates if the unit has not taken damage this turn. Below 66 morale, the units become shaken, decreasing accuracy and increasing damage taken by 17%. Below 33% morale, the units become shaken, decreasing accuracy and increasing damage taken by 33%. So, you can increase damage by 6 if they're shaken, and by a third if they're broken. Okay. We fight, we prevail. Actions. The amount of actions the unit can perform. Using an action may consume all movement. Okay. Movement. The number of tiles a unit can move through in one turn. Rough terrain requires more than a single movement point. Moving into a tile adjacent to an enemy ends movement. And level. The experience level of the unit. Every level above the first increases the unit's hit points and damage by 5%, as well as morale by 10%. And the other bonus that we get from our difficulty is we all start with all our units being 5th level. So that works out to an extra 25% damage, extra 25% hit points, and an extra 50% morale, which is added to the totals, I believe. So that's another reason we'll do it. This is going to be quite the romp, I think. Bolt gun. This is the damage, attacks, armor penetration, accuracy, range. It has the rapid fire traits, which doubles the attacks at half range. The bolt gun or bolter fires small missiles known as bolts. Each self-propelled bolt explodes with devastating effect once it has penetrated its target. There are many variations of bolt guns, from the short-barreled bolt pistol to the Vulcan Mega Bolt, often mounted on Titans and other super heavy vehicles. Okay, so we got 4 of those. Traits we have, and they shall know no fear. Minus 33% morale loss, reduces the morale loss and grants immunity to fear. Some warriors refuse to surrender, fighting on whatever the odds. Okay. Bolter discipline. If your unit remains stationary, they fire rapid fire weapons with increased attacks at all ranges. So that's 100% to ranged attacks when using bolters. To a space marine, the bolt gun is more than a weapon. It is an instrument of mankind's divinity, the bringer of death to his foes. So you combine that with the ranged fire. Basically, you get plus 200% or 3 times the attacks. So that will do 12 attacks. And we have here, anything is a modifier because of the situation, which includes terrain. So we have outpost increases the damage reduction and heal rate of allied units, increases the range damage reduction of infantry units. And for our actions, we can disband, which we don't want to do. Overwatch attacks enemy to enemy, that's a standard thing. Hold position, so it doesn't do anything until engaged. Hold position until healed, holds position until fully healed. And then you can skip, which skips the turn. Okay. But we're not going to do any of that. What we're going to do is we are going to use... We're basically going to attack. Voyeur. Hell yeah. See, where are you going? Well, you're here. Well, there's actually no way down through that area that I can see, because we've got all this wireweed here blocking this free, so we don't want to do that. So we're going to head up here then. Some units cannot move but can still perform actions. If they have weapons like the city headquarters, they can attack. To perform an attack, move your mouse over the enemies and right click. This unit is able to carry infantry units as cargo. To embark, move the unit you wish to carry onto the transport's tile. Embarked units will normally not be able to disembark in the turn they have embarked. Okay. This is the Fortress of Redemption. Okay, we have the fortification. Station fortified unit, if armed, exerts control over adjacent outposts. Harvest resources from adjacent special resource tiles. And it's a transport. Some vehicles can carry infantry across the battlefield, providing speed and protection. Of course, if the transport is destroyed, the passengers will be burnt alive in the explosion. So, if you carry anything inside a troop that's destroyed, then anything that's inside will also be destroyed. And the weapons. Okay, twin link las cannon, which is heavy, so it reduces the accuracy after moving. But it's twin link, so it increases the accuracy. So this is an accuracy of 83%. Las weapons fire packets of explosive laser energy. The larger the gun, the more powerful the shot. Regardless of size, las weapons are incredibly reliable, making them favoured tools of war throughout the Imperium. Boom. See what our city's doing. You can now produce units. Queue up as many as you like, but watch your resources. Since this is a separate building type, other buildings can keep producing at the same rate. If you construct additional infantry production buildings, infantry will complete training twice as fast. Okay. So we've done that. To keep your war machinery in operation, you will have to construct specialised resource buildings. Build a resource building like you built the infantry building. The tile on which the building is placed may modify the building's resource output. Look for matching resource icons. It's important not to run out of resources, otherwise your buildings will begin working at a lower efficiency. So, let's construct a refectory, which is going to be giving us a bonus here. Okay. You're now able to produce new units, maintain your economy, and understand the basic concepts of the game. Yeah. More tips and suggestions will be shown throughout your interactions, but you will be left to explore the world of Gladius Prime and discover its mysteries alone. Survival is no birthright, but a prize wrested from an uncaring galaxy by forgotten heroes. Okay. Let's choose our research. We are going to get the armory. Building that produces ground vehicles as well as generates requisitions and research. Sounds good to us. Exit the city. We've got Vespid Stingwings. Apothecarium. Grown to 2 of 6 population. Let's exit the city again. And we are done. So I am going to leave it there. So. This has been Vane doing a Let's Play Warhammer 40,000 Gladius. The Relics of War. Okay, if you like what you're seeing here, be sure to like, subscribe, share and comment. Please consider sponsoring me on Patreon, and until next time, goodbye.